Okay, come to order please at 7 o'clock. And I would like to welcome everyone here. I know it's a last minute, but the construction people decided to park in front of and all around the church. And I didn't realize that until this afternoon. So we do have a quorum here. Robert is called in, and Mike is at home with a sick child. So he may call in later, so I've got my phone on, not on silent, I guess. So I would like to have the Pledge of Allegiance right now. Everyone, please. You okay? Okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have the August 23rd regular meeting minutes.
I make the motion that we accept the August 23rd, 2022 minutes.
I second the motion.
It's moved and seconded to approve the August 23rd regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Hi there. Can you hear me? We are in our agenda. We are doing the August 25th public hearing minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I make a motion we accept the August 25th, 2022 public hearing minutes.
I second the motion.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to approve the August 25th public hearing public hearing minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, with the agenda, we have some additions to the listing here. I don't know what, do you have Diane Kennedy on there?
Yeah.
Is it scratched out? Okay. The Diane Kennedy is still on the agenda. We had an addition to, or I would like to have an addition to the unfinished business. C, Gary DeMoss letter. Okay, and D, still under unfinished business, Century West work order number 3. Action required on that one. At the under new business, addition of Evelyn Braden. Sod and fencing questions. Also under new business, B, Department of Commerce, CDBG, general purpose grant approval. correction required. And that was it that came in late. So any objections to amending the agenda?
Not as it was stated, no.
Okay, all right, so we will continue on. Unfinished business. A, Diane Kennedy, Harvest Festival. A letter was received at 2:45 today. And in your letter, copy of your letter, you will note that the subject was a date correction from her previous submission for approval. And she says that she needs to correct her date for the festival. It is October 14th.
Make a motion that we accept the correction from October 7th to October 14th, 2023.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to approve the correction of the festival for Diane Kennedy's from October 7th to October 14th of 2023. And she will be advised of still the stipulations that the council wanted for
Right.
further approval. Oh, sorry. It's been moved and seconded to accept that. Did I say that? Motion carried. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And motion, any opposed? Motion carried. Sorry, I got hung up on that. Okay, item B, council, you have resolution 2209. It's yellow. And correct me if I'm wrong, if this has already been.
It's been approved, we just needed the resolution approved.
Okay. The resolution states that be it resolved that the salaries of the following appointed officers and employees be set as herein noted and be retroactive starting September 1st of 2022. So we just decided that last meeting. Now this is the actual resolution with the changes. So
Okay, I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2209 in total.
I second it.
okay, it's moved and seconded to approve resolution 2209 as stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. So that's
Could the
set.
people in the audience know what that resolution states? Please.
It was decided of the salaries raises for the hourly wage, clerk treasurer, public works, 3 public works crew
And what were those totals? Please.
totals.
Yeah, the hourly.
Okay,
Would be that.
clerk treasurer 1545, public works 2471, public works position 3 1751, public works position 4 23.
Thank you.
Okay, item C for unfinished business, Gary DeMoss letter. It was requested to read for the record.
City Council, this is to keep you informed as to what's happening. We have done some sorting. Robert, the tow truck driver, couldn't haul the first week.
Bullshit.
I had to be
Excuse
gone
me.
the last week. My race season ended, so I had to go to the west side to bring back my motor home, race rig, and trailer. Plus, the race rig was broken, so I had to work on it before I could bring it home. I have found a way to bring the leaning shed back up as the camper, fifth wheel, and motor home northwest.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I can't read that word. To
Or is.
is redesigning and one attorney for each of us, so we'll need your attorney's name, address, phone number. We will start hauling this week if everything holds as it is now. Thank you, Gary DeMoss.
Okay. That is entered into the record.
Yes.
Any,
No, it's needed.
all right, item D, excuse me. Conversations, no longer is needed. Thank you. Item D, Century West work order number 3, and that is the white sheet. There's a lot of white sheets, but it's got Century West logo at the top, work order 3. And it's states, under the terms and conditions established by the extended service agreement 30509.010.01 dated January 2021 between Century West Engineering Corporation and the town of Lynn. This work order authorizes the engineer to perform the following services. And what the project is the town of Lynn Well 7 assessment, biogeochemical sampling and analysis, the data interpretation and reporting, schedule, and on the next to the last page, opinion of probable cause, time and materials cost per Exhibit B, which is the spreadsheet in the back, not to exceed $11,199 without prior authorization from the town of Lynn, and Century West Engineering. And this is needed for the Well 7 assessment. Continuation from the previous studies that were initiated with Dr. Lindsay. You were not here, but diagnose and type the severity of biogeochemical impairment, assist in planning chemical treatment approach targeted to actual well conditions, construction materials, and biological community presence.
Excuse me, did you say Dr. Lindsay?
I believe so. Dr. Kevin Lindsay.
Never mind.
Is this something that's gonna be paid for by a grant, or how's that work?
It's already been in the budget for continuation of the projects.
So does that mean it's a grant? Or a loan, or,
No loan. It's
so the
just,
town's paying for it?
yeah, it's already in the budget from the previous steps.
I make the motion we approve the town of Lynn Well 7 assessment.
I second.
Ms. Brown?
Okay, it's moved and seconded to approve the Century West project, Town of Lynn Well 7 assessment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries.
So when do they expect to be done with the assessment?
Does not say that I can read right now, but it's ongoing. And says here, the draft report will be completed within approximately 1 week of that meeting. The final report will be completed within approximately 1 week of our receipt of the city's comments, if any.
So are we having a public meeting or something?
September 13th, so that's tonight.
And how do we make comments?
I would imagine that you could write them down and we can relay them all to Mr. Nelson.
Usually comments are done at a public hearing, but whatever.
Council, moving on to new business. Item A was the addition, Evelyn Braden. I did not see her come in. No. Okay.
Dave Lowe or Betty?
I'm not seeing anything. For me on it or whatever, what she wanted to do, just focus on it, I know what it's about.
Okay, so, sorry, Mike. She came into the office and she was going to try and make it tonight, but then I asked her to write down her concerns. So this is in her handwriting. I need to be able to get sod and then a fence before I can move into this residence. And I have requested information from the landscaper as to the minimum amount of watering that would be required to establish the sod before winter. Due to the fact that very minimal water has been used in the past month and a half, would it be possible to get a waiver for the minimal water that would be used to establish the sod? I will be able to control the amount of water as we'll have timers. So she brought that in at 12:30 today. Sorry, 2:30.
Okay.
Okay, so I apologize for not getting that to you.
Sorry.
So discussion.
So what is the amount of water she would need?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Okay.
How much water?
That part, she's asked her landscaper with that information, but he hasn't gotten back to her yet.
Because I mean, they could be like 6 hours a day.
Did you hear what Laura said?
No.
I said it could be like 6 hours a day for all we know. That's a lot of water.
Yeah, it's like kind of a blanket assessment, and we can't make a blanket assessment. If the landscaper provides the amount of water that is needed, it should fall within the parameters of the watering cycle for that average. If it's beyond that,
Because if you
This
allow
time
it
and
for one,
date,
you
I
don't
wouldn't-
allow it for all.
I wouldn't think that you'd be able to make any exceptions.
Okay, if that's an agreement, I will let her know that you're open for more information from the landscaper on her project, and then she can go from there.
Right.
Okay, will do. Okay, council, you have the pink pages that is Department of Commerce, CDBG, General Purpose Grant Approval. And what this is the town of Lynn is awarded a CDBG General Purpose Grant for water and roadway improvements. That's gonna be the name of the project, I guess. The project will result in improvements to compliance with regulatory water system reliability. Major components of the project include approximately 2,600 linear feet water main replacement. The project will provide an area benefit to the town of Lynn service area consisting of approximately 535 persons with 59.6% having low and moderate incomes based on a 2019 income survey. The project will accomplish HUD's, HUD, outcomes of increasing the community's availability and access to sustainable infrastructure systems to achieve HUD's objective of creating suitable living environments. And council, if you will notice the CDBG funding where it says water improvements, the red, it's a dollar amount of $844,825 grant. The other leveraged funding is $118,000 grant. Total funding is $962,825. And the backside is your face sheet that is needing approval and a signature to accept this from the Department of Commerce. The Public Works Trust Fund grant has already been approved, the $118,000. So needs approval to sign and accept.
Did you have a public hearing for this project? CDBG always requires a public hearing.
Not yet.
Well, perhaps you better find out if you need to do that before you guys sign.
This is 100% grant.
They'll take it away if you're supposed to have a public hearing and you haven't had one.
They have not asked. They have not said. We have
Well,
not.
you need to find
I
out.
will. I will. So, council,
Excuse me.
So, quick question, Paula, I don't have those papers in front of me. But the 118,000 you're saying is already an approved grant,
yes.
so so that's what we're signing off on then, is the one that's already approved?
No, you've already signed off for that one. What you are doing is the $844,825 for
We're signing off to try to get that
We've-
floor.
we've already got it. It's been awarded, but the scope of work and budget contract just needs to be signed so that it can be processed.
I think a public
It's
hearing is
Commerce
required.
Representative, Community Assistant and Research Unit, CDBG General Purpose Grant.
Can you tell him that I'm saying a public hearing is required?
I will call tomorrow morning about that, yes.
Well, then you should put this on hold until you find out.
Well, we can't because of the deadline, which is tonight.
I make a motion to sign it.
Paula, did you say that it was water line replacement?
What
And
it is the loop, Clarence Loop, and then 8th Street.
And it's- Does it require water to?
Motion to sign it tonight.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to
Yeah, Laura
approve.
makes a motion to approve this paperwork.
I didn't motion to approve.
Yes, Laura made a motion to approve the paperwork.
I seconded.
We don't have it.
Okay.
I know everyone was arguing.
Marcus.
I mean, money's money.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the CDBG grant of $844,825 to be combined with the Public Works $118,000 grant. Grant total funding is $962,825. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed?
Is there a project number on top of that?
Yes.
Could you read it, please?
Contract number 2262110022.
Thanks.
Paula, do you have an approximate start date for that project?
No, the, okay, according to this fact sheet, start date is August 8th. That was when it was awarded. Where are you?
Yes.
When it was awarded. End date would be January 31st of 2027.
Oh.
That's what's on this.
Well, that's as long as the grants and stuff's good for it. Do you have any conversations about it doing something in spring or something?
No, I was
That's
told
it.
to get this done
Okay.
first, and then we could go forward with that. Okay. Back to the agenda. Item C, Mayor Pro Tem, time has gotten away from us. RCW 35.27.160 states that every 6 months, you're supposed to appoint a new Mayor Pro Tem or both to keep current. No, or new signature cards if you vote a new Mayor Pro Tem. Currently, Jim Dorshak is the Mayor Pro Tem. So, open for discussion.
Okay. I would still like to maintain as Mayor Pro Tem.
Excuse me, I can't quite hear you. Okay, Jim, you want to restate?
Yes, I said I would like to continue as Mayor Pro Tem.
Mike, did you hear that?
Kinda, sorta.
Okay, Jim just stated that he would like to continue being Mayor Pro Tem.
So that's if you're gone and somebody steps into your place, correct?
Correct.
I'll do it.
Yay, Mike.
Okay, so it's up for grabs. We have Jim Dorshak to continue, or we have Mike Wold be new.
Mike.
No comments here. Okay, so Mike,
No, I will admit that.
pardon me?
I said I have a lot to learn, I'll admit that.
Okay, well, that's all right.
It's the only way to learn.
So you guys want to arm wrestle or what?
Sure.
I make a motion, we vote Mike.
Just- Okay, Mike, just a minute. What did you say? Mike?
I was just saying it's hard for me to kind of get into this a whole lot without actually being there. So, yeah. Where are we going now?
I make a motion, we vote Mike in. Good experience for him.
Okay. Mike,
Yes.
did you hear the motion? Laura motion for you to be the Mayor Pro
I get to
Tem?
vote too. Oh, I get to vote too.
Just a minute.
You haven't got that far.
I'll make the motion that Laura does it.
No, we're not gonna do that. Okay, motion's on the table. We have a motion.
Okay, I second.
Okay,
Yay.
Mike seconds. It's moved and seconded to have Mike will be the Mayor Pro Tem for the next 6 months. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
I need a motion for removing Jim,
Okay, we have to do the
the whole thing.
procedure of removing Jim Dorshak off of the signature cards and adding Mike Wold onto the signature cards.
I make that motion, we remove Jim and add Mike to
The signature.
the signatures.
Okay, oh, you seconded it. It's moved and seconded to remove Mr. Dorshak from the signature cards and Mike Wold to be added to the signature cards. All in favor, say aye. And any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, Mike, we'll have to get together and do the procedure of the new signature cards, okay?
Alrighty.
Okay. All right, back to the agenda, mayor's report. I have September 13th. The blue sheet is from Mr. Steve Nelson. Starts off with the 2020 water project with CDBG. Century West is continuing coordination and support with that. Paving of 8th Street and the loop is already been approved. It's the Public Works Board and CDBG funded 100%. Century West will develop agreement and get project underway. The TIB 5th Street resurfacing is ongoing. It is in the process of being completed. Keep your fingers crossed this week, if not early next week. Biosolids application permit. Ecology comments were received. They're addressing comments and Century West is doing that as we speak. Water system planning is ongoing with RCAC with that small water system management plan, that big thick book and everything. It's close to the end. It says here, well 7, the interim is complete testing to determine what, if partial rehab is possible. Long-term is to pursue the Department of Health funding for a new well. So we've got 2 avenues that we can go in. That's what we're studying. We've got long-term is for the small water system management plan to get completed in the realms of well 7. So we are moving forward with the geoengineer studying options. Remember, we can drill deeper if it works out, or we're drilling a new location, finding a new location for a well. But Century West is getting that all worked up. So it's whatever next steps that's going to happen. So that if you have any questions or whatever for Mr. Nelson, please let him know so that we can get that to him. Okay, I already kind of touched a little bit. TIB 5th Street Rehabilitation Project is trying to progress. It's very frustrating that residents can't abide by the road closures or the detour signs. Asphalting was going to begin tomorrow, but now they put it off to Thursday, Friday. We want to utilize the TIB grant money for the betterment of Fifth Street, and driving on closed streets is costing the town money when the DW excavating has to redo sections that's been compromised. Wastewater treatment plant. Okay. Do they have this? Do you have the gigamatics? Okay, yeah. Okay, wastewater treatment plant security system. The system that is out there now is outdated and it is not working currently. It gave its last picture. Moon Security has quoted $5,774.45 to replace the whole system. Everything is outdated, the cameras, all I want to say is DVR. The brains of it is, they want to replace everything. Okay, so the monitoring with Moon Security is a separate monthly charge of that $69.01 every month. So that works out to be $828.12 per year. That's for if something happens, Moon Security gets alerted, they can turn around and alert the police or alert the town when security breaks. We are under an annual contract with Moon Security, and it automatically rolls over in November's, every November. Okay, so keep that in mind. I believe you've got an estimate from Gigamedics explaining their suggestions for replacement of the system, but keep in mind it's self-monitoring. Okay, so we would have to monitor at that $3,477. So with those numbers, what does council want to do? Do you have any questions that can be relayed to either company?
So self-monitoring on this Gigamedics or whoever the heck they are. So that would be basically like it would go to say you have a laptop or something, and you would be the only one to see that, correct? Basically what you're saying.
Yes, or it could be like a monitor set up somewhere that it could be monitored by.
But the downfall of that is it's not like it's kind of like comparing it to like home security systems. A lot of people in town have cameras, but it might alert their phone, but it doesn't actually go to like the police department or something, versus like other people's do.
Correct. That step has been taken out. The automatic calling the police. Or Moon Security told me that we could choose that they not contact the police department, but just contact the town. I didn't realize that there was two options, but right now it contacts the sheriff's department.
I would say we need to have it alert both. Just my opinion.
And Gigamedics, I don't know if you know, it's Corey Bartlett out of Ritzville. And yes, it could be a laptop, it could be a tablet, whatever those are, or it could be a separate system like other places have, just a separate monitor TV type situation.
Right. Well, I'll give my 2 cents in. I think we need to have it at least
a little bit of
So
information.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I will have, both companies, have that question presented to them. Is that what you want me to do? Okay.
Yes, I do, but I don't speak for everybody.
I know. So it doesn't have to be decided tonight. Okay?
We have
I'm
until
just,
November.
well, you have till, yeah, you have the month of October.
Okay.
I was gonna say, we wanna get it done soon though, right? Because they should be.
That's all part and parcel. I'd also like to see,
That project soon, I would say.
Yeah.
I'd like to see an estimate from both companies and what they would provide and at what cost. Rather than, you just get a price quote, you need more information than that.
Okay.
I agree.
Both companies for both options. Right? Okay. Yes.
Can I add a little bit more information to
Uh-huh.
that, just to maybe clear up some air around it? Going with Gigomedics or the self-monitored system, you'll still get notified, and I would imagine you can add it to maybe company phones too, so you can get alerted. And we are quite a ways from the police station, so even if Moon were to contact the police station, it would still take the same amount of time either way from either company. So, me personally, I like the local idea, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Have you looked into any companies like Simply Safe? I've used many different companies in my 40 years of being in business. I've done the, $40, $50, $60 a month service, and Simply Safe has done an excellent job. It's only hundreds of dollars to set it up. You can set it up yourself in a couple hours, and you have the monitoring, and it's, $26 a month instead of,
Is it
$60.
safe or save?
Simply Safe, SIMPLISAFE.
Yeah.
Got
it.
I mean, you need to look around. They have, it's all done, with, no hard wiring, but you can have as many cameras, you can have all the glass shattering to, motion sensors, to all kinds of things.
Okay, let it be known to the public. The wastewater treatment plant has never had an alarm to the police. Okay, whatever year that it started in, so that's the plus.
So for that kind of, unlikely somebody's gonna break in there as it is, and why spend $70 a month when, 26 will.
Because that's what it was in the very beginning, when the plant started, so.
There's other things on the market
Right.
now that are much,
We are
just as
technology plus.
and, and a much cheaper price, and,
Right, but either way, you're still gonna have to have internet.
Yes, and it is already set up out there,
Oh, it is, okay, I wasn't aware of that.
yes. Okay, so I will present questions concerned back to companies and research more companies out
There's
there.
definitely options out there.
Yes. Right now, you have 8 cameras out there now. Okay? Okay. Right.
Excuse me, does anything alert if there's a fire starting or anything?
Not that I know of.
Oh.
Back to the reporting, council, you have a sheet that is, says Columbia Grain at the top. It's a double-sided. Okay, that is, the wheat field up at the airport. You have, a split between Rod Melcher and the town. He does the work and we have the ground. split is 70-30. This year, our split was 559.69 bushels. And I have sold it for $9.25 per bushel. So the check was minus the deductions, and you've got storage, you've got barge fuel surcharge, you've got a fuel or truck fuel surcharge that they take away. So the net amount is the $4,610.05. So I jumped on the rise in the prices.
So you did that without council permission? You just chose to do that on your own?
Yes, I'm following past practice. Okay, the dump is temporarily closed until the road can be tended to and the piles pushed up for more room. Lots of people taking out grass clippings and branches. But I have a request. If anyone sees a road closed sign with its stand walking around, please let us know. Someone stole the sign.
Paula, can I
Also, we are missing the padlock off of the cable. Okay?
I just wanted to maybe have you address the construction company to check their signs every morning, because most of the signs are face down on the ground. And I had someone come to me the other day, they were driving up S Street, which hadn't been closed, but then there's a big piece of equipment in the middle of it. And a sign that said detour at 5th Street. So the person turned onto 5th Street.
Okay, so somebody's playing with signs.
You know, or they're not watching them or studying them every day, because that does happen. But it'd be really nice if they would check them, because they're very confusing.
Right.
Yeah, if they're not before 4th Street or, you know what I mean? Thank you.
So detour versus closed is what you're saying.
Well, the little detour signs that are usually like a block back, so they go down 4th
Are
instead
not
of,
there.
they're up at 5th.
Yeah, okay.
They need to stand a lot of them up. The ones on 6th are laying down, they've been laying down for over a week.
Okay. I will let the construction company know. Okay. Okay, anyway, the dump will get back opened up when we have a road that we can go down.
Excuse me, can I interrupt? I don't know the procedures here exactly, but who's going to fix the road?
A DW.
Oh, they will do it.
Yeah.
Yet this soon fall, so we can.
As soon as they leave. As soon as they get done with 5th Street, that's what it's been
You said
said.
that's about a week or 2.
Hopefully this week.
Okay, thank you.
And what are you gonna do with the asphalt out there?
That's what they're gonna fix the road with. They're gonna spread that out.
Are they getting to regrind that up and reuse it? Is that what their plan is?
And that's what I have been asked them to do, yes. Okay, Barbara has some information for the council's education.
Yeah, in the council packets, there is some information on free training classes for just
Wide
variety of free webinars that you can take for budget is one of them for municipal budgets. I see Laura, I'm going to look at Laura's responsibilities of elected officials, open public meeting acts, mayors and councils, and the survival guide for newly elected officials. Just free webinars that you can take to help you with being a council member.
Why is it an option? I feel like it should be required.
Some of it was required when they became council members at the beginning of their term. And it is just reinstating Refresher courses, yeah, thank you.
Is there, I understand, so we can go online and do some of these.
Yes.
Is there any live or in-person training available anytime in the future?
I don't know, but as emails come through from AWC and MRSC, I can relay them to you as we get them in the office. So.
Okay, well, I'm asking because, I mean, some people would retain more, like seeing it actually in person versus trying to look at a computer for hours on it.
True.
You know,
True. Okay, so Mike wants face to face. Okay.
I have a question. Did they take the courses that were required when they first started? Did you go to class?
It was just a,
Webinar?
yeah, like a 20-minute video thing.
yeah.
There's a certificate that they had to sign and prove.
If you had an
so
in-person
we
training,
have, huh?
if you had an in-person training, that would have to be an open meeting, and then other people that are curious could come and sit in. Yeah, we've done that in the past.
It was offered. We had flyers at the council meeting in December that was offered to anybody that wanted to go.
To an in-person, no, I mean,
That was
an
offered for
in-person training here at the town.
Oh,
Usually
it wasn't.
AWC will send somebody to come to the town and hold it in a location here. And that way, usually on a Saturday, and they have different things like personality tests, so people get to know what strengths people have or what's more important and how they think. So it
might have
was
been
always
Clear
pretty
Risk
beneficial.
Solutions.
It might have been Clear Risk Solutions.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think the other guys probably have something similar.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. At council, the last sheet is just a plain old white sheet. Bentco LLC is for the completion of well 9. And it's the fencing around well 9. They will level the site, erect the fence, gravel the inside fence area. Town will furnish the gravel. As you can see, the materials, labor is a grand total of $10,469. Okay, so this company was out there today measuring, assessing the area, and that's what is their proposal. The unfortunate part about that is that part is not covered by insurance. But it's a necessary item. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, it's gotta get fenced in.
Yeah. And Joe is proposing also to have a camera out at that location as well. So we're working on that.
Was there any talk about having some kind of lighting out there?
For what?
Just around that
I didn't
censure
hear what you said though.
lighting?
Lighting,
Or
yes,
lighting out
yeah.
there? Is that in the $10,000?
Probably not, because it did not say a light. Now that you say that, I'll ask. Like a yard light. Okay, that's a good suggestion. So, completion of well 9, the actual well is not going to be put in, or the casing is not going to be put in until we have the security.
Okay, so how are we, going to add the lighting as part of the security?
Well, before it's $20 a month for a yard light for Vista to include. And I would imagine that they would just go from the west side of this sewer plant.
Do they have a charge for doing that?
Vista, I don't remember if they do or not. All I remember is the monthly charge.
Well, farmers have those, I forgot what they're called,
Vapor lights.
vapor lights. They come on and you don't have to have them hooked to electricity, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They're colored.
You can get a solar light, but they are expensive.
Yeah. Right now, my worry is the fence, so.
So that we don't have another incident.
So we don't have another incident, just walking down and picking it up and driving away.
So do you want a motion for that? I make a motion that we install the fence and do the gravel inside the fence area and get it done.
I second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to install the fence and the gravel purchase for the $10,469. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries.
Is that gonna come out of the water or sewer? Because it's on sewer property and it's a water item.
50.
That would-
That's what I was thinking. Okay, so that's the end of my report. So when we turn to the agenda for Finance Committee report.
I read. You see anything?
I didn't see anything.
All right. I make a motion that we pay the warrant check register dated 8/23/2022 to 9/12/2022 in the amount of $45,231.46.
I seconded it.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to approve the warrant check register for August 23rd to September 12th of 2022 for $45,231.46. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
In the matter of the outstanding invoices, I make a motion that we approve the outstanding invoices dated from 8/22 to 9/7 in the amount of $73,474.29.
I seconded it.
Okay, with the pending outstanding invoices dated August 17th to September 7th of 2022. Dollar amount $73,474.29. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. Mike?
Yeah.
Do you have anything for the good of the order on the phone?
I did, I was kind of curious, but, you answered that question already. I was gonna ask, what the deal was with the asphalt being hauled out to the dump, but you said they're just stockpiling it there to reuse it to pave the road, correct?
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. That's my desires.
Are they or aren't they?
I don't know, I'm not, I'm done yet. Okay, so is that it?
Well, yeah, I can go into that more, but I guess that answers my question because,
Okay, do you have any other suggestions?
I guess you're gonna reuse it, that's fine, but I'm curious what's gonna happen if they don't go that route, what's gonna be done with all that asphalt, because
that will be addressed, yes. Okay. Laura, do you have anything? No.
Excuse me, I'm just,
Myra? Sorry. And Jim?
Okay, last meeting of the town council got to be pretty involved. Ugly, yeah, it's a good word for it. I would appreciate it, and other members of the council would appreciate it, if we conducted ourselves as responsible adults and human beings. Please do not talk over one another and confine your comments to 4 minutes if you're on the agenda to speak. Okay? That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the finance, first is Robert Meader.
I'm Robert Meader. I just moved to town about 5 months ago. Bought kind of a hoarder house. Been trying to clean it up. Kind of tired of getting bitched at. So I got something to read. I don't know how many minutes it takes. I thought that I had 10. I don't think that it would take that long though. I will start by saying it seems quite ironic to start your meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and then scheme up ways to impede upon other people's liberties because you have different priorities, likes, dislikes, or hobbies. I am here to discuss the code enforcement position and how it is a complete violation of other people's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, as well as a complete waste of resources for your small town. Your city-owned lots look like crap. Even after your workers did a little cleaning up last week in an attempt to save face, being called out for your hypocrisy. Specifically, the lot on Michigan Street still has weeds all over, garbage cans were haphazardly scattered about and now in a row. Junk vehicles still parked there. The wastewater treatment center is covered in weeds. The airport is so welcoming and beautiful with all the weeds, junk, and derelict buildings. Before you hypocrites go judging others for the speck in our eyes, perhaps you need to remove the plank from your own. Use the money used to hire a code enforcement officer to clean up your own act. Hire some people that actually take pride in their work. Hire people that will pull the weeds at the city lot on Main Street rather than stand outside smoking cigarettes while they look at them. I am curious if the weed enforcement does not apply to you. Also curious if the railroad is exempt from weed enforcement. Their entire lot is covered in weeds, and the first thing anyone sees driving into town on Highway 21. When the town sends letters out to citizens complaining about weeds, the justification used is that the county will fine us for the weeds. This seems like redundant enforcement and a complete waste of the small town's resources. Why spend money to attempt enforcement of something that already is being enforced by a bigger entity? The same can be said about the town's attempted enforcement of vehicle codes. This state has a Department of Licensing for a reason. It is not the town's responsibility to police and enforce for another agency on a micro level. But I guess that is your point. Micromanagement, control, coercion, and attempt to impose your beliefs, priorities, likes, and dislikes upon the free-thinking human beings who live in this town. Last I checked, this town is not a part of a homeowners association. I would not have moved here. This town is actually known for a combine demolition derby, car and truck races. That is the reason I moved here. I'm a gearhead, unashamed, unapologetic, and I'm not going to change. Which gets me to my next point. Combine owners, car and truck race owners are receiving letters to get rid of their race vehicles and combines. I have talked to owners of these vehicles getting the letters. You as a town council seem to be either willing to shoot yourselves in the foot and this town in the foot, or have a completely condescending attitude towards the derby participants. Come out and put on a show for the weekend. Make us some money. Bring in tourists. Make us some money. But after the derby, get out of sight. Hide your combine, you lowly peasants. Don't you dare keep a race vehicle, you trashy ones. You're kind of not welcome here in Lynn, except for one weekend a year. So is this really the position the council wants to take? Are you wanting to kill the only event this town has going for it? Are you wanting those of us, I only have a little bit left. Are you wanting those of us willing to put time, money, and effort into race trucks to take our energy elsewhere, our money elsewhere? I have one last and final point before I wrap this up. Your own code describes a junk vehicle as not having a value over that of scrap. If you take a vehicle to Moses Lake right now, they will pay you $10 per ton. That is $10 per 2,000 pounds. The average car weighs 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. So if you're classifying any of my running, driving vehicles as being worth no more than $30, I will pay any one of you $60 cash right now for your running, driving vehicle. I don't care what condition it's in. $60 cash. If you don't accept that, you're a fool. Because it's only worth 30.
Thank you. Next is Mr.
I think we can clap.
I
didn't know we were in rush.
Excuse me.
If we're
Mr.
being
Allen has the
restricted
floor.
on water so bad, why is it that trucks are taking water out of over there by the pool by thousands of gallons?
That is not drinking water, that is your tank water.
But
It's
even
totally
still,
Totally separate.
it's still pulling out of the aquifer.
It's totally separate from your drinking.
Yeah, but it's still pulling out of the aquifer. And we're still having to pay for it in the long run. We're the ones that are suffering. The ones that are taking out that water aren't. I sat here Saturday morning, 1,000 gallons went out, 8 o'clock. I got home at 6:30. There was 2 trucks in there. That's pretty close to 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000 gallons that the city residents could use in the long run. But we're being restricted. And then the rumor of a resolution that we could get fined $1,000 for misuse of the water. I understand that's a rumor for now. But when you got people, I leave this town at 4:15, 4:30. There's people that have got sprinklers running right in the road that have been there since 10 o'clock that night. It's ridiculous. Nobody's enforcing that because it's all done at night. Nobody cares. But yet if we water our yard when we're not supposed to, we're the ones that are going to get our rumps chewed. I mean, it's stupid. And this water problem has been going on ever since Malden, and ever since these
Every summer. Yes.
windmill.
Every
I've
summer.
lived here for over 25 years, Paula, and it has not been every summer. I beg to differ with you on that one.
Thank you. Denise Sneed is next.
Yeah, I went into the office the other day and asked Barbara for the July treasurer's report, and she told me it wasn't done yet. Barbara, is the June treasurer's report done?
The June is, yes.
The June is done.
June.
So July and August are not done. You're 2 months behind. And also that the treasurer's report has not been given to the new council. Why is that? Our 3 new council members have not received the treasurer's report for 6 months. Why is that? You told me you're only giving it to Dworshak and Myra.
The treasurer's report goes to the finance committee as I was told to do.
So Laura and
They're
Mike,
more than welcome to come and see it anytime they want.
you're supposed to give it to them at the first meeting.
I
They
was
should
never
have,
told that.
they should have the August treasurer's report now.
Considering I just got paperwork from the bank today,
For what?
for the treasurer's report.
So
I didn't
you
get the
haven't balanced
paperwork till
the-
today.
You haven't
We're not
balanced
going
the
back.
July or August treasure, no, you haven't balanced the July or August bank statement yet? I mean, Paula, why is this okay? You're in charge of the office. Why would you think it's okay not to give all the council members the treasurer's
Well, I
report?
don't ever, I'm not gonna get in back and forth here, but, I don't remember getting a treasurer's report when I was on.
I was there. I gave
know, I don't
every
remember. We're
person.
not going back and forth here, okay?
Paula, you are hiding information from
No,
the
I
new
am
council
not,
members.
and that is the-
You are.
Heather Reed is next. Oops, sorry.
So there are a couple of items that I just wanted to discuss and bring up. You know, we did have a town meeting a week or so ago, and these were just things that I got ideas from some of the members of the town to bring up to the council, to hopefully get some action on. One, this might seem kind of small, but it's a good start. The card machine. You know, being able to pay our bills with a card would be nice to have. And from what I hear, it was a free service that we can get, so that way I don't have to pull out cash when my bank is 3 hours away and I don't have checks. And there are a bunch of other people that are in that same boat. So a card machine would be nice and convenient. Everyone has a transaction fee, but if that could be readdressed, that'd be much appreciated. And then the postponement of SNJ. Sorry to be a dead horse on this one, but I don't think it was right to have it dismissed when it was council approved without public notice. If that could be reassessed, I know it seems like a small thing to get a free assessment from a second resource, but it's something the town really wanted, to get a second opinion. And I do know we have an assessment that was just discussed this meeting as well. I don't know your name, sir, but you spoke earlier about the water being sold. I understand that the way it's being sold isn't really an accountable system. They just write it on a sheet and we're supposed to take their word for it. I am under the impression that it is metered. Is there a way that we can get an external meter, so that way when people are buying water from the town, they can get an accurate number of how many gallons or cubic feet they're taking? Also raising their price. Even though it's not drinkable water, we shouldn't be selling it for pennies on a dollar, or if we can get a more transparent pricing and just make it more accountable for people in town, so that way we're not feeling like we're being screwed over here, especially if we're going to continue to have a water issue. Another one as well is we would like the council and everybody who represents us to be more transparent, to be more forthcoming. Give us more information than I don't know, or please research, hopefully in time of the next meeting. We want answers, and we want them done honestly. And that's just the thing I hear from everybody. We want a more transparent system. So instead of people hiding information and us having to go and search, we shouldn't have to do that. We should trust you guys. And a lot of us don't. That's all I have to say.
Okay, Jamie Schmuck is up next.
Are you gonna address her concerns? Answer the SJ, why it wasn't?
Jamie Schmuck, you're up next.
That's actually my question. I would like an official response to the community about why something that was suggested by the community strongly, council voted on it, And then all of a sudden it got canceled for, I've heard numerous different reasons. I like to hear the real reasons and from you, to be accountable for why you just closed off something that the council said to do and was scheduled. They were asked to schedule it, and then you canceled it.
Okay. Cheryl Hawsey?
I asked a question.
Cheryl, you're next.
Hey, Peter, no, you were asked a question.
Brian? Answer. Brian?
Yeah,
Oh, there you are.
wanna find out why the Meader South has turned down a hookup for water, especially when the guy who was running it said that he would take and do 4 months and then pay on back, which isn't his responsibility. That's his landlord's responsibility. He owed $2,700 in back water, but yet you won't turn the gentleman's water on because of that? Why is that? I'm putting you right on the spot, Paul, because you told me that you wouldn't hook it up until $2,700 was paid to the town to hook up the water.
Oh, okay. That's the end of our list of questions, and in order to answer your question, excuse me.
I'm sorry, I'm just getting.
Yes, please.
I'm sorry.
Answer to your question, Mr. Bratton, is that it is over $2,700 owed on that place. That is a situation that is between the landlord and the town right now. So that's the
Yeah, you're
the answer.
denying him service when he wants to put it underneath his own name, not the landlord's name. And you told him no, that you wouldn't hook service up.
How can you get the past due account
Put it into
amounts?
collections. That's one of the easiest ways to take it.
Okay, there are people in collections that have never paid. They have all kinds of excuses, and then we get the report that says they are not able to pay because of no jobs or whatever the excuses are. So having people turn into collections is not the pat answer. I'm trying to work with the landlord.
You can always put a lien on that property.
I could, but that's the worst. I'm trying to work
If it's
with
that big.
the landlord.
No, I want to put it up underneath the gentleman's name that wants the water.
I'm working with the landlord on that.
That don't answer my.
Okay, sorry, that's all I can go with right now. That's all I can go with.
RCW states if you pay 4 months of water and 6 months of sewer, you can get it turned on, and then you have to continue with a payment plan.
That doesn't always
And
happen.
he is-
That's what you have to
He has said
do.
that he gives 4 months in advance on payment and put $50 a month towards that. And it's not his bill.
It's landlord's bill.
It is the landlord's bill.
Yeah.
And you need to talk with the landlord, not him.
And that's what I said.
Because now you're creating a hazard, public hazard over there. What if people just go to the bathroom and take and, put it in a bucket and then take it over and dump it out in front of the, mayor's office or over?
It's been done before. Yeah.
I mean, would you like to have to go out and clean that
Well,
type of mess up?
Okay,
Or would you have one of the city?
I am working with the landlord on that situation.
So,
Okay.
for,
You need- you
In
need to work
answer
with
to the
Pence.
question of CJ, I do that every time, SJ. I called CIAW, our insurance company, and when I called them for clarification of the liability for having SJ Environmental analyze, come and be on our site. And they recommended some things. They wanted from SJ Environmental. So this was the emails, and everyone on the council got the same information. The morning after, the morning of, okay? Except for one council member.
Who's that?
Okay? And I said, this is to Sam Sneed and Jay Faber. Gentlemen, in reference to the morning of Wednesday, August 31st visit to Lynn, would you please provide documentation of your company's license and credentials? Also, it is requested to provide to the town a hold harmless agreement which will protect the town while you are on site. The town's insurance company, CIAW, has also explained to me that there should be no members of the public citizens allowed to be on site during the review. The facilities have dangerous areas and equipment, so the areas are deemed restricted. We appreciate your cooperation and will be at Lynn Town Hall at 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Respectfully, Mayor Paula Bell. And I had mistyped Sam Sneed's email, so that bounced back to me. So I
resubmitted.
Yeah, I did it again, and I said, apologies for mistyping your email address, Mr. Sneed. So then, Jay Faber and responded, Mayor Bell, SJE has no issues with providing the requested documentation and signing a hold harmless agreement. The question I have for you and the community is, do you really, excuse me, you wanted answers? The question I have for you and the community is, do you really want SJE to complete an evaluation on the town's water and wastewater systems? SJE wants to build a positive relationship with the communities we serve. And to be truthful, I have concerns that this relationship is not starting off on a positive note. Please confirm that you're wanting our free evaluation, and SJE will be glad to provide the required documentation. Thank you, Jay Faber. So, with that being at 5:24 Monday evening,